Hello, everybody. Welcome to Boss Battle. I'm Goron1988, and I am here with. Yes, so welcome, Inquisitor Cat. And, yeah. So, well, this should be a good matchup. Should be a bit interesting in order to see. Yeah. Just trying to think. But yeah, how are you today, Cat?
Confused.
Confused.
Yes.
I,
We
I,
actually have a winter and it's not going away.
It's not going away.
Yes. Like this used to be the norm, but now it's weird.
I see. Isn't there a Pokemon that can change the weather? I
Multiple.
multiple. It might be one of them then. Who knows? Oh gosh, and yeah, I hope everybody around is well, possibly in chat is doing well as well. Yeah, for me it's a bit colder, but it's still keeping quite warm here in the UK, so always nice to see effectively. Um, so yeah, best time to be putting it on to well, what the matchup is tonight. In the left corner we have Volvagia, and in the right corner we have Morpher. So what are you thinking about this matchup?
I, I can only say boop and then I will be cut off because spoilers.
I see. Yes, we had to cut cut Cat off because of spoilers. Bye. But yeah, it's an interesting matchup because theoretically, I mean, water could beat fire in many ways, but we'll see if the stats come out on top as well on that one. And talking about the stats, Volvagia has Health C, Power D, Intelligence B, Mobility S, Flame Breath B, Fire Affinity B. Again, Volvagia does quite well for themselves. Quite a good arsenal here. What do you think, Kat?
Yeah, well, like, yeah, stat wise, it's on very high end, and overall, like, well, Vagia is a dragon. Dragons are always expected to be top listers on pretty much any series.
Yeah, true. And yep, the opponent tonight is Morpher. Health D, Power F, Intelligence F, Mobility D, Aqua Affinity B. Stats aren't too good, but the Aqua Affinity might definitely help here. I mean, what do you think about these stats, Cat?
Well, Mofa on the stat wise is pretty much the opposite of, of their opponent. But
Mm,
given the right situation, Mofa has many advantages. It's
yes.
just can Mofa take use of them is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, we'll definitely see about that one. So, to clarify before we get into this, half the arena will be Volvagia's arena, half the arena will be Morpha's arena, and they'll effectively spawn in together. Morpha will have some knowledge of how to sense Volvagia. That's normally given with regards to Morpha specifically because Morpha seems to be more of a defensive array in a sense. But we're going to give that effectively here. Are you happy with the breakdown of how the fight will start?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to decide effectively which one will win. I'm going to write the message privately, effectively. But yeah, um, just tell me if you are happy with it. Uh, um, I'll just
Yep.
type of. Yep, we're all happy with that effectively. Okay, so what I would say, and there's a few things effectively about this that I do want to say. I was thinking about something going on, and I hate to spring this on to you, Kat. But one thing I was thinking is from here on in, I honestly believe that the boss with the higher intelligence should always have the first move, because the boss with the higher intelligence would understand more what's going on effectively. So I want to bring that to something that happens now and in future boss battles. I know I've kind of sprung that on you, but I wanted to say that first.
Like, there is a logic to that, so I do agree that makes sense.
Good, good. And then the final thing with this battle is I don't even need to say it, but Kat, do you want to be Volvagia?
Well, normally I would say yes, but then again, I have gotten used to having this dice set just around for playing characters with a certain stats lacking as well.
Well, choose either one and I'll choose the other. So
So I'm willing to go for Morpha.
so you will go for Morpha here, and I will go for Volvagia. Okay then, so both of the worlds meld into one another. Volvagia sees that there is this strange, um, you know, evil water effectively around that looks nothing like the normal water that Volvagia does see sometimes, perhaps when, seeing afar from Death Mountain, perhaps looking into Lake Hylia. So, because of that, I'm going to say that Volvagia uses Flame Breath effectively on the water in the surrounding area of Morpha as Volvagia's first attack.
All I can say is oof.
Well, I'm gonna leave it for you for what happens here because there's a lot of water. We agree on that. So just let me know if Morpha survives it and what Morpha does after this.
The funny thing is, I would expect Morpha to survive, but I would also expect Morpha to do an instinctual response, which is quite dumb, and that is to leap out of the water.
Okay. So um because of what Volvagia has discussed here, then they will fire at Morpha's core with flame breath.
And here comes to close the fastest duel we have had, even though there was that one that ended in a single action.
Okay, well, I mean, that's effectively how it went. Our winner is Volvagia for this one. I mean, it was never in question. It didn't need to be this short effectively. It was, but yeah, that very high intelligence, the very high mobility, which meant that Volvagia could place shots a lot more easily, and just that flame breath as an ability, because it's a ranged ability, it meant that Volvagia could just keep peppering Morpha with sprays of flame breath, and Morpha could do nothing about it effectively. So we pretty much say that Volvagia wins this about 100% of the time. There is one scenario that it's possible Volvagia loses, but we don't think it would be happening due to Volvagia's really high intelligence here. So, yeah. And I'm gonna put it here on Morpha just for a second. And yeah, that intelligence F just sealed it for Morpha in that sense as well. So yeah, I'm putting it back to Volvagia, but what do you want to say, Kat? Because you said about a specific scenario, when we were discussing this slightly before here. So, yeah, I give you the floor.
Yes, the one scenario where Volvakia would meet its demise without changing any of the stats in this fight, or the fighters, would be if Volvakia would just strike and go to the water itself, fully submerge himself under the water.
Yeah.
That's the only situation where Morpha would have enough of control to keep Volvakia under the water and make him drown.
Yes, exactly. So that's the only way Morpha could have won this. Because Volvagia had a high intelligence, though, it's unlikely it would happen. It's still a possibility, but it's so minuscule. That's why I'd say that it's just definite that Volvagia is going to win this, so Volvagia did.
Yeah. I would say that if Morpha would have even one higher stat of an intelligence, first of all, the fight we just placed through would not have ended so soon, and the scenario which I just explained a moment ago would have way more higher chances of actually happening.
Yes. I think Morpha could have won this with an intelligence even equal to Volvagia's, honestly. Because this aqua affinity that Morpha has, it's brilliant. Morpha can move a lot of this water anywhere. You know, in theory, I think Morpha could, with a high enough intelligence, perhaps even make a sphere, that could have entrapped Volvagia. That's how good I think that ability is. And Volvagia being a flame dragon would have had no choice. But Morpha's intelligence is just so low that even though Morpha has so many possibilities to use with this aqua affinity, it's a real tool set. It's not just one ability, it's a complete tool set of abilities that no other boss has. Morpha's just lost this battle, and quite frankly, it will probably be costing Morpha a few battles in the future.
Indeed, like explaining the fight that just happened. If somebody questions why did Morpha jump out of the water instead of going deeper in, if somebody have witnessed basic life forms, which
Mm,
Morpha is,
mm,
Morpha is a very simplified life form.
mm,
They usually respond to a strike or irritation of some sort by moving towards it instead of moving away from it.
mm. Yeah.
So Morpha would just follow this basic irritation going toward it, and that's why I tried to combat it. But well, a blob of water cannot just walk towards a flame and survive.
Yeah, I mean, just just can't completely. So yeah, I don't think there's anything more to say then. I just I do in this scenario, I feel cheated. Because if Morpha had even an intelligence D, this fight would have gotten a ton more interesting. But
I fully agree.
it is what it is. So well, I'm gonna put it back. So yeah, do you want to say anything?